Hey guys, we're on day 3 of area. Let's start with an example. It says, what is the area of this square? Now we're going to learn more about shapes and their attributes later on. That just means their characteristics. So the area is that we know that's the inside, but this is a square. So what we're going to learn about squares later on is that all sides of a square are equal. So if all sides of a square are equal, that means this side is the same as this side, is the same as this side, and this side. So all 4 sides are equal. So if this side is 8 centimeters, the rest of the sides have to be 8 centimeters. Okay, and we learned that area is length times width. That's your formula. Length times width, or rows times columns. So I have 8 and 8, I just multiply. So 8 times 8 is 64. So the area is 64, and I need square SQ centimeters. Okay, so squares, all sides are equal. All right, this one says find the area of each shape below. So let's look at, we'll call this one A, and we'll call this one B. All right, so each square here has an area of 1 square unit. So that's going to be your label. So I'm going to go ahead and write square unit for shape A. Okay, so all of these squares are 1 square unit. So all you have to do is count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the inside is 6 square units. All right, let's look at shape B. Your key down here says each square has an area of 1 square centimeter. So here your label is going to be square centimeters. All right, now this one has a lot more squares, so let's just count rows and columns and multiply. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this side's 4. Let's count the columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 columns. So if I do length times width, 6 times 4 gives me 24 square centimeters. All right, shapes A and B are both regular shapes, but they're both regular shapes. So let's look at an irregular shape. All right, this one says think about how you could find the area of this shape. First, draw the square units, then number the square units to find the area. So this is an irregular shape. Irregular shapes mean that it's not a regular shape like a triangle or a square or a rectangle. See how it looks like these 2 pieces are missing here? That's an irregular shape. So it says first draw the square units. So remember we did this last week when we tiled rectangles. We can just draw the squares, kind of like connect the dots. Now I can see those individual squares. Okay, now 2, it says then number the squares to find the area. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 7 square units in this irregular shape. I'm going to show you what irregular That's what I'm saying by irregular shape. Okay, so these two shapes are regular. So here's regular shapes. This is an irregular shape. Just means it looks kind of funky. All right, so look at this shape. Is this irregular or is it regular? This is an irregular shape. So now let's find the area of the shape below. So this is just like the one we just did. We can connect the dots and make those square units. And then we can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 square units. And it's square units because there's no centimeters, there's no meters. It's just square units. Okay? All right, so this is a regular shape because it looks like normal shapes we're used to seeing. So we're finding the area of this shape. Here's your key. It says each square is 1 centimeter. So let's look at our formulas here. It says 5 centimeters minus 2 centimeters is 3 square centimeters. So are there 3 square centimeters on the inside? No, there's a lot more than 3. We know we do not subtract when we find area. Here's one that says multiply 2 times 5. Let's see if they're correct with 2 times 5. So there's 2 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 columns. So if I do 2 times 5, that does give me 10 square centimeters. All right, C says 2 centimeters plus 5. So when I do area, I'm not adding, I'm multiplying. It's not C. And then D, 5 centimeters divided by 2 centimeters. I don't divide when I do area, so it's B. You have to multiply. All right, next one, this is a regular shape. It's not irregular because it's a normal shape like we're used to seeing. It's a rectangle. Here's your key. Each square is 1 centimeter. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 columns. So if I have 4 times 7, I know 4 times 7 is 28. Because look at your other choices. We're not adding, we're not dividing, and we're not subtracting when we find area. Okay, if you can't remember what 4 times 7 is, count the squares and look at your answer choices. No, there's more than 11. We don't have decimals, 1.75, and there's more than 3. So the only answer that makes sense is 28 square centimeters. All right, and last example says the length of the rectangle is 4 centimeters. Using 1 centimeter squares, 4 squares will fill a row. The width is 2. Using 1 centimeter squares, 2 squares will fill a column. So if I keep going, and let me fill in these lines here. See how this line goes across? And then these dotted lines, we can just bring them down. Okay. So then the area, there's 2 columns, 2 rows and 4 columns. So 2 times 4 gives us 8. And here's centimeters here, but I can't just put centimeters, I have to put square centimeters because we're talking about the inside, which is area. All right, today for practice, you can do practice pages 297, 298, and then extra math. Miss Conley is your sub today, so if you can get Miss Conley to check your practice pages 297, 298, guys, and then you can do extra math. If you have extra time, you can get on eSpark. Don't forget your homework is due Friday. You also have a quiz over Area Friday, and be sure you're studying your facts every night.